Welcome back to SpeakWise Podcast, your daily place to listen, learn, and speak English naturally. I'm really happy you're here today. Before we begin, take a slow, deep breath. Relax your shoulders. Forget about being perfect. Forget about trying to remember hundreds of grammar rules. Today, we're going to learn one of the biggest secrets of great conversationalists. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a conversation that sounded like this? Hi. Hey. How are you? I'm good. How about you? I'm good. Silence. Nobody knows what to say next. Maybe this has happened to you before. You know English. You know grammar. You know vocabulary. But after 30 seconds, the conversation suddenly ends. Why? Because nobody ever taught you how to continue a conversation. Here's the truth. Great conversations aren't built with difficult words. They're built with curiosity. Confident speakers don't always have better English. They simply know how to keep asking, how to keep listening, and how to make the other person feel comfortable. Today, you're going to learn exactly how to do that. Through one simple story, you'll discover how one conversation can become 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or even an hour without running out of things to say. Ready? Let's begin. It's another beautiful Sunday morning. Sunlight fills Emma's apartment. She finishes her breakfast. A cup of coffee sits beside her notebook. She opens her phone. A notification appears. Downtown English Conversation Club. Sunday. 10 a.m. Everyone is welcome. Emma smiles. She has seen this event many times before. But today feels different. She whispers to herself, maybe today's the day. Repeat after me. Maybe today's the day. I'd like to try something new. Repeat. I'd like to try something new. Wonderful. Emma puts on her light jacket. She grabs her notebook, her headphones, her water bottle. Everything is ready. But as she reaches for the door, she suddenly stops. A familiar thought appears. What if nobody talks to me? What if I don't know what to say? What if every conversation becomes awkward? Emma smiles nervously. She has felt this before. Before her first day at work. Before the team-building trip. Before meeting Lily's friends. Each time, she was afraid. Each time, everything turned out better than she expected. She takes a slow breath. Then she smiles. I've done hard things before. I can do this too. Repeat. I've done hard things before. I can do this too. Excellent. A short train ride later, Emma arrives downtown. The conversation club is being held inside a cozy community cafe. Large windows, let in warm morning sunlight. Soft jazz music plays quietly. The smell of fresh coffee fills the room. Several round tables are arranged across the cafe. Some people are already chatting. Others are smiling as they introduce themselves. Emma notices something interesting. People come from many different countries. Some speak English fluently. Others hesitate. Some have strong accents. Some speak slowly. But everyone is smiling. Everyone is trying. Emma quietly says to herself, this feels welcoming. Repeat. This feels welcoming. Everyone is here to learn. Repeat. Everyone is here to learn. Excellent. A friendly volunteer walks over. Hi. You must be new. Emma smiles. Yes, it's my first time here. The volunteer reaches out her hand. I'm Sarah. Welcome to the club. We're really glad you're here. Emma smiles. Thank you. I'm excited. Repeat after me. It's my first time here. I'm excited. Thanks for having me. Wonderful. Sarah hands Emma a small name tag. Just write your first name. Emma writes. Emma. Sarah points toward a large table. We're about to begin. Emma walks over. About 25 people are sitting together. Some are laughing. Others are introducing themselves. Nobody looks nervous anymore. Sarah claps her hands gently. Welcome, everyone. If this is your first visit, don't worry. You don't need perfect English. You only need curiosity. Emma smiles. Curiosity. She likes that word. Sarah continues. Today, we're going to practice something very simple. Not grammar. Not pronunciation. We're going to practice. Keeping a conversation alive. Emma looks around. Everyone seems interested. Sarah asks, "How many of you have ever had this conversation?" She laughs. Hey. Where are you from? Brazil. Oh. Silence. The whole room bursts into laughter. Emma laughs too, because she's experienced exactly the same thing. Sarah smiles. The problem isn't your English. The problem is that most people stop asking questions. Emma nods. That makes sense. Now think in English. I'm curious. Repeat. I'm curious. I want to know more. Repeat. I want to know more. Excellent. Sarah writes one sentence on a whiteboard. Good conversations begin with good questions. Emma looks carefully at the sentence. She writes it in her notebook. Then Sarah smiles again. Let's warm up. I'm going to pair everyone with someone they've never met. Emma feels a tiny butterfly in her stomach. She smiles anyway. This is why I came. Repeat. This is why I came. I'm ready to meet new people. Repeat. I'm ready to meet new people. Wonderful. Sarah begins calling out names. Emma. She looks across the room. I'd like you to meet Daniel. A tall man with a friendly smile stands up. He walks toward Emma. Hi. I'm Daniel. Emma smiles warmly. Hey. I'm Emma. Daniel smiles. It's nice to meet you. Emma replies confidently. It's nice to meet you too. For a brief moment, neither of them says anything. Just a few seconds. Emma can feel the silence. A few weeks ago, she might have panicked. She might have looked down. She might have waited for Daniel to continue. But today, she remembers what Sarah said. Good conversations begin with good questions. Emma smiles. She takes one slow breath, looks at Daniel, and asks, So, what brought you here today? Daniel's eyes light up. He smiles immediately. That's a great question. And just like that, the conversation begins. What Emma doesn't realize is that one simple question is about to teach her the biggest secret of natural conversation. Daniel smiles warmly. That's a great question. I've always wanted to become more confident speaking English. I use English at work almost every day, but I still feel nervous when talking to native speakers. Emma nods. I know exactly what you mean. Repeat after me. I know exactly what you mean. I've felt the same way. Repeat. I've felt the same way. Wonderful. Daniel smiles. Really? Emma nods. Absolutely. A few months ago, I was afraid to start conversations. I worried about making mistakes. But little by little, I'm becoming more confident. Daniel smiles. That's encouraging. It's nice to hear someone say that. Emma realizes something. She isn't thinking about grammar anymore. She's simply listening. She's genuinely interested in Daniel's story. And, because she's interested, another question comes naturally. So, what kind of work do you do? Daniel smiles. I'm a software engineer. I design mobile applications. What about you? Emma answers calmly. I work in marketing. I help create online campaigns for small businesses. Daniel nods. That sounds interesting. Repeat. That sounds interesting. What do you enjoy most about your job? Repeat. What do you enjoy most about your job? Excellent. Did you notice something? Emma didn't stop after hearing Daniel's answer. She asked another question. That's how conversations continue. One answer leads to another question. Daniel thinks for a moment. What I enjoy most is solving problems. Every project feels like a puzzle. Emma smiles. I've never thought about it that way. Repeat. I've never thought about it that way. That's really interesting. Repeat. That's really interesting. Fantastic. Now it's time for today's first native tip. When someone shares something about themselves, don't simply say, okay, or nice. Native speakers often respond with curiosity. For example, really? Repeat. Really? What was that like? Repeat. What was that like? How did you get into that? Repeat. How did you get into that? Tell me more. Repeat. Tell me more. These short questions invite the other person to continue talking. They also make you sound friendly and interested. Now let's practice together. Daniel says, I'm a software engineer. Instead of saying, nice, Emma asks, how did you get into that? Daniel smiles. Actually, I've loved computers since I was a kid. My father taught me how to build my first computer. Emma's eyes light up. No way. Repeat. No way. That's amazing. Repeat. That's amazing. What happened next? Repeat. What happened next? Excellent. Daniel laughs. After that, I started learning to code. Then I studied computer science in college. And now, I build apps for a living. Emma smiles. I love hearing stories like that. Repeat. I love hearing stories like that. Wonderful. Now another volunteer walks over. Would you two like to join another pair? Daniel smiles. Sure. A young woman named Sophia and a man named Michael pull their chairs closer. The four of them begin talking together. Michael smiles. So, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you choose? Emma doesn't hesitate. I'd probably live somewhere near the mountains. I love peaceful places. Sophia smiles. Me too. I love hiking. Immediately, Emma sees another opportunity. What's your favorite hiking trail? Sophia smiles brightly. Oh, that's a difficult question. There are so many beautiful places. The conversation continues naturally. Nobody is running out of things to say, because every answer creates another question. Now think in English. I'm interested. Repeat. I'm interested. I'd like to know more. Repeat. I'd like to know more. Can you tell me more? Repeat. Can you tell me more? Excellent. Now it's time for today's listening challenge. Listen carefully. Michael asks, if you could live anywhere in the world, why does he ask this question? A. To test Emma's English. B. To learn more about Emma. C. Because he's planning a vacation. The correct answer is B. Great job. Questions like this help people discover shared interests. That's exactly how real friendships begin. After another few minutes, Sarah claps her hands. Wonderful. I can hear some fantastic conversations. She smiles. But now, I'd like to teach you a technique that professional communicators use every day. Emma looks curious. Daniel smiles. I've heard this is really useful. Sarah writes 4 large letters on the whiteboard. F-O-R-D. Emma quietly reads them. What does that mean? Sarah smiles. You're about to find out. And that simple word will completely change the way Emma starts and continues conversations forever. Sarah smiles as she stands beside the whiteboard. She writes 4 large letters. F-O-R-D. Everyone looks curious. Emma quietly whispers. Ford? Daniel smiles. I've heard about this before. Sarah nods. It's one of the easiest ways to keep almost any conversation going. She points to the first letter. F stands for family. Then the second. O stands for occupation. The third. R stands for recreation. And finally, D stands for dreams. Sarah smiles warmly. Whenever you don't know what to say next, think about one of these 4 topics. Most people enjoy talking about at least one of them. Emma quickly writes the 4 words into her notebook. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. She smiles. That actually seems simple. Repeat after me. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Wonderful. Sarah claps her hands. Let's practice. This time, each pair will have a 5-minute conversation. Try to use all 4 Ford topics. Emma smiles at Daniel. Ready? Daniel laughs. As ready as I'll ever be. Repeat. As ready as I'll ever be. Let's do it. Repeat. Let's do it. Excellent. Emma decides to begin with the first topic. So, Daniel, do you have a big family? Daniel smiles. I have one older sister. My parents still live in Chicago. We get together almost every Sunday. Emma smiles. That sounds nice. Then, instead of stopping, she remembers today's lesson. Good conversations continue with another question. What do you usually do together? Daniel laughs. My mom always cooks. My dad tells the same stories every weekend. And, somehow, we all laugh every single time. Emma laughs. That sounds like my family. Repeat. That sounds like my family. Wonderful. Notice what happened. Emma didn't ask 10 random questions. She stayed on one topic. That's what keeps conversations natural. Now Sarah walks around the room. She smiles. Excellent. Stay curious. Don't interview people. Have a conversation. Emma thinks about those words. Don't interview people. Have a conversation. There's a difference. A conversation feels relaxed. It flows naturally. Questions connect together. Now Daniel asks Emma, "What about your family?" Emma smiles. My parents love gardening. My mom grows beautiful flowers. My dad spends hours taking care of the backyard. Daniel smiles. Really? What kind of flowers? Emma laughs. Honestly, I'm not sure. But our garden is always colorful. Both of them laugh. Now think in English. Tell me about your family. Repeat. Tell me about your family. We spend a lot of time together. Repeat. We spend a lot of time together. Excellent. After a few minutes, Emma moves to the second topic. Occupation. So, what's your favorite part of being a software engineer? Daniel thinks for a moment. I enjoy creating something useful. When people use an app that I helped build, it feels rewarding. Emma smiles. That must be exciting. Repeat. That must be exciting. What do you enjoy most about your work? Repeat. What do you enjoy most about your work? Excellent. Daniel asks, Emma, what about marketing? Emma smiles. I enjoy understanding people. I like learning why people make decisions. Daniel notes. That's fascinating. Emma notices something. The conversation keeps flowing naturally. Nobody is forcing it. Nobody is struggling. Now, it's time for recreation. Emma smiles. So, what do you usually do when you're not working? Daniel laughs. I play tennis. I love hiking. And recently, I've started learning photography. Emma's eyes light up. No way. I love photography too. Immediately, the conversation becomes even more natural because they have found something in common. Repeat after me. What do you like to do in your free time? Repeat. I enjoy hiking. Repeat. I enjoy photography. Wonderful. Sarah smiles as she walks past. Did you notice something? Emma nods. Yes. The conversation became much easier. Sarah smiles. That's because shared interests create longer conversations. Excellent. Now it's time for today's listening challenge. Listen carefully. Daniel says, I've recently started learning photography. Why does Emma become excited? A. She wants to become a photographer. B. They discovered a shared hobby. C. She wants to buy a camera. The correct answer is B. Great job! Finding something in common helps conversations grow naturally. Now, only one letter remains. D. Dreams. Emma smiles. She asks softly, if you could accomplish one big goal in the next 5 years, what would it be? Daniel becomes quiet for a moment. Then he smiles. I'd love to start my own company. I want to build software that helps students learn more effectively. Emma smiles. That's an amazing dream. What inspired you? Daniel laughs. My teachers. They changed my life. I'd like to do the same for someone else. Emma feels inspired. She answers honestly. My dream is to become confident enough to travel anywhere in the world and make friends without feeling afraid to speak English. Daniel smiles. I think you're already much closer than you realize. Emma laughs softly. Maybe. You're right. Repeat after me. What's one of your biggest dreams? Repeat. I'd love to. Repeat. My dream is to. Excellent. Sarah claps her hands. Time's up. Everyone smiles. The room is filled with laughter. Nobody seems uncomfortable anymore. People who were complete strangers just 20 minutes ago are talking like old friends. Emma closes her notebook. She looks at the four letters one more time. F-O-R-D. She smiles. Maybe keeping a conversation alive was never about knowing thousands of words. Maybe it was simply about caring enough to ask the next question. As everyone stands up for a short coffee break, Michael walks over with a grin. So, Emma, I've got a challenge for you. Emma smiles. What kind of challenge? Michael laughs. For the next activity, you'll have 5 minutes to talk with someone new, without repeating a single question you've already asked today. Emma laughs. This is going to be interesting. She has no idea that the next conversation will be the longest and most enjoyable English conversation she's ever had. The cafe becomes lively again after the short break. People refill their coffee cups. Some grab cookies. Others continue chatting near the large windows. Soft music plays quietly in the background. Sarah smiles and claps her hands. All right, everyone. It's time for our final conversation challenge. Everyone looks toward her. This time, I'd like you to meet 5 different people. You'll have just 3 minutes with each person. Your goal isn't to speak perfectly. Your goal is simple. Keep the conversation going. Emma smiles. 3 minutes. That doesn't sound too difficult. Sarah laughs. But there's one rule. You can't ask the exact same question twice. The room fills with laughter. Emma laughs too. This is going to be interesting. Repeat after me. This is going to be interesting. I'm ready. Repeat. I'm ready. Wonderful. Sarah points toward the first table. Emma walks over. A friendly older man smiles. Hi. I'm Robert. Emma smiles warmly. Hi, Robert. I'm Emma. Instead of asking, what do you do? She remembers the Ford method. She decides to begin with recreation. So, Robert, what do you enjoy doing in your free time? Robert's face lights up immediately. Oh, I love fishing. I've been fishing since I was 12. Emma smiles. What do you enjoy most about it? Robert laughs. The silence, the fresh air, and watching the sunrise. Emma smiles. That sounds peaceful. Repeat. That sounds peaceful. What do you enjoy most about it? Repeat. What do you enjoy most about it? Excellent. 3 minutes pass quickly. Sarah rings a small bell. Time to switch. Emma moves to another table. A young woman smiles brightly. Hi, I'm Mia. Emma smiles. It's nice to meet you. Instead of asking about work, Emma chooses dreams. If you could learn any new skill, what would you choose? Mia thinks for a moment. I'd love to learn how to play the piano. Emma smiles. Why the piano? My grandmother used to play every evening. I've always loved that sound. Emma smiles. What a beautiful memory. Repeat. What a beautiful memory. I'd love to learn. Repeat. I'd love to learn. Wonderful. The bell rings again. Emma moves to her third conversation. This time, she meets Carlos. Carlos smiles. I'm from Brazil. Emma smiles. I've always wanted to visit Brazil. Carlos laughs. You should. It's beautiful. Emma becomes curious. What's your favorite place there? Without hesitation, Carlos begins describing beautiful beaches, rainforests, friendly people, and amazing food. Emma realizes something. She hardly says anything. She's mostly listening. Yet, the conversation feels wonderful. Repeat after me. I've always wanted to visit. Repeat. What's your favorite place? Repeat. Tell me more. Excellent. Now it's time for today's native tip. Many English learners think they must talk all the time. Native speakers know something different. Good conversations aren't built by talking more. They're built by listening better. Sometimes, the best response is simply, really? Repeat. Really? No way. Repeat. No way. Tell me more. Repeat. Tell me more. What happened next? Repeat. What happened next? Notice how these simple questions encourage the other person to continue. Excellent. The bell rings again. Emma walks toward another table. This time, she meets Hannah. Hannah smiles. So, what's something you're proud of? Emma poses for a moment. She smiles. Instead of searching for a perfect answer, she speaks honestly. I'm proud that I didn't give up learning English. There were times when I wanted to quit, but I kept practicing. Hannah smiles warmly. I'm glad you didn't. You inspire people more than you realize. Emma feels touched. Sometimes, a simple conversation can stay with you forever. Repeat. I'm proud that I didn't give up. Repeat. I kept practicing. Wonderful. One final bell rings. Emma sits down across from Daniel again. He laughs. So, how are you feeling now? Emma laughs. Honestly, I don't want today to end. Daniel smiles. What changed? Emma looks around the room. She notices something amazing. 30 minutes ago, everyone here was a stranger. Now, people are exchanging phone numbers, laughing together, planning future coffee meetups. Emma smiles. I stopped trying to think of clever things to say. I just became interested in people. Daniel nods. And that's exactly why everyone enjoyed talking with you. Now let's try today's listening challenge. Listen carefully. Emma says, I just became interested in people. What does she mean? A. She memorized more vocabulary. B. She focused on learning about others instead of worrying about herself. C. She wanted to leave the conversation. The correct answer is B. Excellent work. Sarah gathers everyone together one last time. I have a question for all of you. What do you think is the biggest secret to great conversations? People begin sharing answers. Confidence, listening, curiosity, kindness. Emma quietly smiles. She thinks she knows the answer too. But before she says it, she decides to wait. Because sometimes, the best conversations end with one meaningful thought. And in the final part of today's lesson, Emma will discover that the greatest conversationalists don't always have the biggest vocabulary. They simply make other people feel heard. The afternoon slowly turns into evening. Golden sunlight pours through the cafe windows. The conversations become quieter. People begin exchanging phone numbers. Some promise to meet again next weekend. Others take group photos together. Emma looks around the room. Just a few hours ago, she walked into this cafe feeling nervous. She wondered if she would have anything to say. Now, she has spoken with people from 5 different countries. She has laughed, shared stories, asked questions, and made new friends. She smiles to herself. What a difference a few hours can make. Repeat after me. What a difference a few hours can make. Repeat. I'm glad I came today. Repeat. Wonderful. Sarah stands at the front of the room one last time. Before we finish, I'd like everyone to share one thing they learned today. The room becomes quiet. Anabi 1. People begin speaking. Carlos smiles. I learned that asking better questions creates better conversations. Mia says, I learned that listening is just as important as speaking. Robert laughs. I remembered how much I enjoy meeting new people. Everyone smiles. Then Sarah looks toward Emma. What about you? Emma pauses for a second. Not because she's afraid. Not because she doesn't know what to say. She simply takes a moment to gather her thoughts. Then she smiles. I used to think that great conversations happened because people always knew the right words. But today, I learned something different. She looks around the room. I learned that great conversations happen because people care about each other. The room becomes completely quiet. Emma continues. When I stopped worrying about myself and started becoming curious about other people, the conversations became easy. I didn't have to search for perfect words. I just needed to listen and ask one more question. Everyone smiles. Sarah nods proudly. That's beautifully said. Repeat after me. I just needed to listen. Repeat. I just needed to ask one more question. Repeat. Great conversations begin with curiosity. Repeat. Excellent. Jake walks over with a cup of coffee. You know, I noticed something today. Emma smiles. What? You never tried to impress anyone. You simply made people feel comfortable. Emma laughs softly. I didn't even realize I was doing that. Jake nods. That's exactly why everyone enjoyed talking with you. Emma thinks about those words. Maybe. People don't remember every sentence we say. Maybe. They remember how we made them feel. Now it's time for today's final native tip. When a conversation begins to slow down, don't panic. Simply become curious again. Try asking questions like these. What was the best part? Repeat. What was the best part? How did that make you feel? Repeat. How did that make you feel? What happened after that? Repeat. What happened after that? What would you do differently? Repeat. What would you do differently? These questions don't just continue conversations, they create meaningful conversations. Wonderful. Now it's time for our final listening challenge. Listen carefully. Jake says, you made people feel comfortable. What does he mean? A. Emma used difficult English words. B. Emma helped others feel relaxed and happy while talking. C. Emma spoke the longest. The correct answer is B. Excellent work. As people begin leaving the cafe, Emma walks toward the door. She turns around one last time. The room that felt unfamiliar this morning now feels warm, friendly, almost like home. Sarah waves goodbye. We hope to see you next Sunday. Emma smiles. I'll definitely be back. Repeat. I'll definitely be back. I'm already looking forward to it. Repeat. I'm already looking forward to it. Wonderful. Outside. The evening air is cool. The streets are calm. Emma begins walking toward the subway station. She isn't thinking about grammar. She isn't thinking about vocabulary. She's thinking about people, about stories, about laughter, about curiosity. She quietly smiles. Maybe the biggest secret to speaking English was never about speaking. Maybe it was about listening. She remembers every conversation from today. Robert's love of fishing, Mia's dream of learning the piano, Carlos's stories about Brazil, Hannah's encouraging words, Daniel's kindness. Each conversation started with one simple question, and each conversation continued because someone genuinely cared about the answer. Emma reaches the subway platform. She sits on a bench while waiting for the train. She opens her notebook. On a clean page she writes, Today's lesson, good conversations don't depend on perfect English. They depend on genuine curiosity. She smiles. Then she writes one more sentence. People love talking to people who truly listen. She closes the notebook. For the first time, she isn't worried about running out of things to say, because now she knows. She only needs to ask one more thoughtful question. Now think in English with me. I'm interested in people. Repeat. I'm interested in people. I enjoy listening. Repeat. I enjoy listening. Every conversation teaches me something new. Repeat. Every conversation teaches me something new. I don't have to impress people. Repeat. I don't have to impress people. I just have to be present. Repeat. I just have to be present. Excellent. Take a slow, deep breath. Smile. Today, you practiced much more than English. You practiced curiosity. You practiced listening. You practiced building real human connections, and those skills will help you in every language, not just English. Remember, you don't need endless vocabulary to have great conversations. You need genuine interest. One thoughtful question can open a door to an unforgettable conversation. Thank you so much for joining me today on SpeakWise Podcast. It means so much to have you learning with me. If today's lesson helped you feel more confident about starting and continuing conversations, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to SpeakWise Podcast, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new English learning journey. Every week, we'll share new stories, meet interesting people, practice real conversations, and help you speak English naturally with confidence. If you have a friend who's learning English, share this lesson with them. Let's grow together. One story, one question, one conversation at a time. Until next time, Keep listening, keep asking, keep smiling, and never stop being curious. This is SpeakWise Podcast, where every conversation brings you one step closer to fluency. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.